I'm
What's
sorry.
happening?
Kyle was making me laugh while that was going, and I don't think anybody else could see it, but it was
it's only for you.
Yeah,
not for us.
So
I flashed him.
That's how this one starts. That's how this stream starts.
Oh my god.
Today is Thursday, May 25th, and we have a new Soul Survivor. Very excited to be talking about this finale with you guys. Yeah, I just can't wait. So let's kick this thing off. Love that. All right. It's fantastic. My name is John Dunphy, and I am joined for the final time of this Survivor 44 coverage. I'm joined by my fellow tribe mates, Mr. Kyle Petty, Miss Gina Morgino, and Mr. Mikey Marmon, which, by the way, thank you so much, Mikey, for hanging out with us all season. It really has been a lot of fun.
Thanks for having me. I've had a blast.
Yeah, you brought new life into our Survivor streams because, listen, we were ready to drop it. I was a hard out. I was like, if we can get Mikey, I'll do it. But if not, I think I'm done with Survivor. And I'm really glad we didn't skip this season because it really has.
It was a really good one.
Yeah, definitely a missed call.
You're welcome.
Yeah. No, I thank you.
For those of you watching and listening, if you want to check us out on the socials, you can do so at StratChatPod or check out the website, www.stratchatpod.com. All right. I really want to just talk about the finale, but I know that we did have episode 12, so I guess just very briefly.
Episode 12?
An ultimate episode before the finale. We had Lauren win immunity, which was a big win for her.
Her.
And, we saw some potential drama between Tika or Carson and Jam Jam. We're talking about the threat that Carolyn posed, and could they maybe flip on her? They ended up not doing that. They voted out Jamie, but they did successfully flush out Heidi's idol, which was something that they were looking to do. So that's where we left off going into the finale. Is that Lauren won immunity, Jamie went home, and then we had our final five. So let's get into that, I guess, right? What did you guys think of this finale overall? Yeah,
this was a good finale. I'm very easily distracted, and I was there for the vast majority of it, so I can't complain.
Yeah, I was definitely into it.
Mm-hmm.
I know we've really only kind of been, Survivor, of all the shows that we talk about and watch and cover, like Survivor is one of the newest ones to us. And this, for me, I think has been my favorite season so far that we've been watching like live and talking about on the podcast. So I was super pumped for this finale coming into it. So yeah. What about you, Gina, Kyle? Any overall thoughts on this finale?
Just agreement with what everyone else was saying for me. Like I really, really enjoyed this whole season, and the finale was no exception.
I had a great time. I have a very cold take when we get to the latter end.
Take.
Very cold. Yeah. Anti-hot. Okay. Ice cold.
No.
Rigid. You're not going to like it. We'll get to it when we get there. Yeah. It's definitely going to be a non-hot take. But no, I thought this was a very fun finale. Very engaging. I was excited the entire time. I really still wish we could do away with this after show, though. I'm never going to be a fan of that.
Like, I enjoy those reunion shows. I just wish it wasn't happening immediately after they crown the winner. Like, give them time to talk to each other.
That's my problem with it, yes.
Give them time to go home, talk to each other. Give them time to maybe watch the season, like, even if it's not while it's airing, like, watch it on their own time or whatever. But, like, you're not really going to get the conversations you want or the reactions that you want if they don't have any context to anything.
Right,
Yeah.
right. They need time to like decompress. You can't just like throw pizzas in their face, which is also, he acts like that's a very happy thing. Those pizzas must be ice fucking cold.
Like, also, like, I say this
like
because I think about this with the reward challenges too. Like their tummies are gonna hurt real bad. They've been eating like coconuts this entire summer. Like,
and like, listen, those are the challenges. Like, okay, you know what you're getting. You get what you get. You don't get upset, right? If it's just sitting out there and the bugs had at it first, like, well, hey, listen, you're on Survivor. This is the after party. It just ended. Stop playing games. Give me some fresh, hot food. I don't want to play this game. And give me a shower.
Yeah,
a shower, please. Yes,
like, let me freshen up. Like, I don't know. Like, this is weak.
It's we talked about this, I think, towards the beginning of the season too. I think without having the season had the fan reactions already and figured out like what people were latching on to, the questions just aren't generally pointed enough towards what we want to be hearing about anyway.
Yeah.
So, because like, I think had this season, had they done this as a live finale, everyone comes back, there would have been much more emphasis on Carolyn in general, like for sure, because she was clearly the fan favorite. Like there's just, it misses that sort of element of the fan being there. I don't know. I miss the live finales like crazy. I also, it's like fun seeing everyone come back and they're all fancy and in their dresses and such
they look cleaned up the way God intended for them to be seen.
Full cast there that way, you know. Because with this one, we only have half the cast. We're missing
right.
Urge. So it's like we don't even get to hear about any. We don't get to hear from any of them about any of that stuff that happened, and we don't get. Which, like, I mean, we all have social media and stuff, so we can see them now through that lens. But it's just not this. It's not the same.
Yeah.
Really great.
No, I agree, and I'm glad that you brought up, Mikey, like the rest of the cast that's not there, because it's an immediate after show. Because like there were some fun moments in the after show to me, like Jeff letting Jamie know in front of everybody that her idol was actually fake. You know, like, that is fun.
That was fun.
That was nice.
With a live finale that's shot later and bringing the rest of the cast back, I think it could have been even more fun to have Jamie find this out, and then Matthew is also sitting there, the one that planted it and like made sure that she found it. Like, like that could have been a fun thing too, to see Matthew there and see what, like, the look that Jamie would have given Matthew or something.
Which that also that made me laugh too, like that element of it, because Jeff literally looked at her and was like, "Yeah, you remember Matthew, the guy he got kicked out of the game because he had like the hurt shoulder." And it's like, do you think she doesn't remember who Matthew is?
Yeah. I think Danny said who. One of them, or somebody was who's that? I'm pretty
How
sure
do you not
it was
remember?
Yeah, well, because a lot of them never interacted with him.
Was he out pre-merge?
He was out pre-merge.
He was one of the
last ones.
One of the last ones to leave pre-merge. Yeah.
Okay.
It was him and then Josh, right?
Josh, yeah.
Blevins
is saying justice for Maddie and Claire. Who the hell is Maddie?
Precisely. She was the first out, wasn't she?
Camilla? Was that what her last name was?
It was. She was like. She was one of the first.
Was that 44?
Yeah,
it was this season. Yes.
Oh my!
She was voted out first on day 3. She wasn't the first out because Bruce left for a medical reason, but
she
was the first vote out.
First voted out.
Damn, sorry, girl. Hold on.
From Brooklyn, New York.
Did you ever preload her?
Oh, really?
Maddie.
She should be in here. Yeah.
Oh, Maddie! Justice for Maddie.
She was going like, I think if I remember correctly, she was going like very hard for Brandon once Brandon found the idol for their tribe and like didn't want to share it with her and like
she was like,
he decided to tell the whole tribe. And
good memory, damn.
Like, Maddie was like, oh, I can't trust Brandon anymore. He doesn't want to work with me. So
that's that Brooklyn in her.
Yeah.
I remember her.
But
yeah, but I like hearing from and seeing everybody in the finales, and this format, just you don't get that. You don't get it.
Yeah.
Need a second to breathe.
It's true. I totally agree with all that.
Also, while we're talking about things we miss, you know what I realized this season, and it didn't hit me till recently? he used to like announce the jury as they came in, and the cast would come in first, and then the jury would come in after, and you'd be like, and our jury, name, and then you see the last one, and they're all like clean for the first time, and everyone's like, yeah, I miss that.
Yeah.
We do that in Big Brother.
Yeah.
Right.
We do that.
Yeah. You always get the
Also, they're
the
hopefully
Russell
always clean on Big Brother.
I just mean like the announcements and the surprise final juror is what I'm really referring to.
Yeah.
Like, come on, don't do
With
that. It's too early.
I know what you meant. I know what you meant.
Like with Julie being like, "Oh, who do you think is going to be the next person to come out?"
Very fun, very fun. If we're also going to talk about things that we missed, was there not like a final statement at this last tribal? Like, shouldn't they stand up and say like, "Hi, hello, my name is so and so, and this is my final plea"?
They didn't have an opening
that.
or a closing statement.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I'm okay with no opening, but there should be a closing.
You know, and I agree with that. And I feel like, I don't know if I've always felt like this with the final tribal council, but like this one felt like a little bit messier to me. Like, I don't know. It was just, but like, not that it was necessarily like bad, but I don't know. It just felt a little messy. And there were things like in the after show, right, that came out that I felt like could have helped people in the final three in their pitches. And it just didn't come up with the way the questions were asked. Like the whole, for example, I know we're going to talk about final tribal later and stuff, but like even the whole story that Carolyn then was prompted to tell once Jeff brought up some fake idols. And she made this whole statement about how she found the idol for Tika in the birdcage, left the cage open, realized everyone's going to know it's her if she doesn't go back and close it. So she came up with the whole story about the red X's, like this really creative way to throw her whole tribe off and keep this secret. And she kept that secret of her idol for so long. Like, could that have gotten her a vote or two in the final? You know,
they already knew that.
No, not a lot of them didn't. I'm so glad you brought that up because I had the same thought. Like, she had told, I think it was Carson and Jam Jam about it, but those were the only people that really knew from what she had told somebody, but it wasn't like a big statement in front of other people. It was so most of the jury probably didn't know about it.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I respectfully disagree.
I don't know
who she was talking to in that moment, but I remember us talking on this.
It was
you shouldn't be giving so much of your game away.
It was right after she played the idol for Carson. She told the story
because there that she was speaking.
Yeah, but I don't think she went into that much detail.
She didn't talk
about the X's and all that stuff.
Because there was a lot of surprise. People were like, once Jeff said it, and she was like, "Yeah, I came up with this whole thing about the red X." People were like, "Oh my god, that's so creative!" Like people were like very shocked by that.
That needed to come up in Final Tribal, and it didn't. And that's because that's something that you come up. Like I was saying, that's something that you can throw into your statement if it's not brought up in a question, if it's not an organic, if it's not done too organically, you know. And so I agree. I think those statements about people being like, "This is why I should have this," outside of the questions that you've asked me, I think that's important. And I think it's disappointing that it wasn't there.
Yeah. My confusion actually speaks to that point because like I didn't even remember any of this. I thought they all knew, and it's like, you see, this is why if you had a statement, I'm watching as a casual observer, and I still thought people knew. So if I thought people knew and they didn't know, those people really didn't know.
Right. Like, and I think that like it definitely, she spoke about the idol and finding it and how, you know, people were impressed with the secret. I think people really looked at that like, wow, Carolyn had an idol this whole time and nobody knew, not even Carson and Jam Jam. Like that was the big surprise to them there. But then knowing that it went even further about like, she like created her own game within the game with these red X's and Matt, and then Sarah thinking that she had an idol when it was fake, you know, like that was pretty cool to me. I don't know, but she didn't get to speak about that in her actual pitch.
She kind of, it seemed like she got kind of screwed a little bit in that final tribal, to be honest.
I wrote down, I know we're going all out of order now, but like it doesn't matter to me. It's fine, the season's over. So, but like I wrote down, like I felt
Kyle, we had this same moment, I think, last time we talked about Survivor of me being like, who the hell is Sarah?
This entire time that everyone was talking, I'm like hovering over all the thumbnails. I'm like, where is this Sarah girl? Like, who is Sarah? Let's see what she looks like. Who is this girl?
Yeah.
But you were saying, John.
I don't even remember anymore. What was I
I'm
saying?
sorry.
You wrote something down related to Carolyn, I
Oh,
think, is what you were
it
saying.
was Final Tribal. I had written down that I thought that Jam Jam had the best pitch of the three of them.
Mm.
I actually felt that Heidi, she had some good moments, but I felt like she had like the weakest pitch. I just felt like Carolyn, I thought she did well when she was speaking. It just felt like she didn't get enough of a chance to speak on some things. I don't know.
She didn't get a lot of questions.
Right? That's what I felt like.
It also was like one thing I watching Carson like
I know.
while she was speaking,
total
like,
stage parent.
I was like, that is brilliant.
Like,
Carson is so cute.
I was shocked that he didn't vote for her. I'll be honest. That came as a shock to me,
especially when he was doing all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Like you can sort of. I feel like you can always sort of tell where it's gonna go by the way they edit the final tribal.
Sure.
And I mean, maybe it was purposeful that Carolyn didn't speak that much because they were sort of trying. It's possible they were trying to like, not lead us in that direction. Who knows? Maybe I'm just giving them too much credit. But yeah, no, it definitely felt like the Jam Jam show in the final tribal for sure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. Wow. All right. Do you guys want to talk?
Very surprised. I'm sorry. I was very surprised. I did not get that feeling from this tribal.
No?
I know, call me crazy, but I was really still very convinced that Carolyn was going to win. Like I was sitting there, I was like, oh my gosh, we're focusing so much on her emotions and her sobriety. And now she can't believe that she's here. And I'm like, these are her winning moments. These are the moments that say, like, wow, look, you can overcome anything. And I actually thought that I didn't see a lot of Jam Jam. I thought the exact opposite.
Wow. Okay.
I was really like, oh, this is definitely coming down to Carolyn and Heidi. I was like,
oh
wow.
Yeah, I was like,
no,
this who I wanted.
Like,
I don't know. Like I
thought this edit, they were like playing up Jam Jam. Like, look at this lovely, wonderful human who did all of this work, and now he's just so great.
You know what it was for me earlier in the episode? That moment with Carson was like very much a hero moment where Carson was crying. And he was like,
I was also crying.
That kind of happened, and I was like, ooh, I don't know what's gonna happen here.
That was a great moment.
Yeah, that was a great moment. But like, it definitely was like,
well, look,
that was
three very different opinions between me, Matt, and Liz. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, thank goodness people like thought something else. I was like, oh gosh, I'm the odd one out. You know, I'm always the odd one out.
I still thought that Carolyn had a great chance to win, and I still, because it was just weird to me that she didn't get a single vote at all. I mean, the way that Franny, and that's the biggest surprise. Like, listen, you go in, you don't know how the votes are going to shake out, who's going to be bitter, who's not going to be bitter, who's going to have an answer that just sticks with them more than this person's answer, even if this other person had a better, tribal council pitch or whatever. You never know what's going to happen. But like, I felt like it was just wild to me. I thought she might get Franny's vote. Even the fact I tweeted about this last night, I was like, Heidi in her own final tribal pitch was talking about how much Carolyn was an inspiration to her. And I'm like, and yet not a single vote. Heidi got a vote.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't see this coming like this at all.
I will say it even felt like for a hot second there that Jeff was like rooting for her too. Because I mean, he eventually came out and just said, that's why you should all apply for Survivor. But for a hot second, he was like, I never saw you give it. Like, it like definitely felt like he was like, vote Carolyn, guys.
No, I was shook that she didn't get one single vote.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But I feel like this has been happening the last couple of seasons though. Like Xander didn't get a single vote. Who was the other one that was like surprising recently?
So the votes, if you actually look at the last 4 seasons, 41, 42, 43, and 44, the vote has come out exactly the same every season. The winner got 7 votes. The second place person got 1 vote, and the
person we all assumed was going to win got nothing.
Somebody on Twitter, like, I saw a tweet about this. Like, it was like, oh, this is not good. A 3-person final is not good for Survivor because everything's been 7-1-0, 7-1-0, 7-1-0. It's like, I didn't notice that.
What do you think about that? Like, that's weird to me, right?
Switch it up.
I think we need to switch it up for sure. I do.
Yeah, switch it up. You can always come back to it later, but give us
Also,
something different
speaking
for now.
of switching it up, and I think this was the episode before the finale, I did see a lot of people talking too about how, like, if your show is so formulaic that everybody just knows I should bring everything I own to this tribal because they're probably going to move us to another beach, and then what's going to happen? Maybe you shouldn't be doing it that way anymore. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
It's
a lot of
tough.
other things to get into in this episode too.
There really are, yeah.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah.
want to talk about the first tribal council.
The first tribal. Oh, in this episode.
In
this final.
Where we saw
Yeah,
Lauren
yeah.
leave. Where we saw Lauren leave.
Oh, okay.
Because
Mhm.
this tribal felt like it was wild. I mean, I always had faith that the Tika 3 would stay strong, but like it was just
You did, huh?
well, at the end of the day, I felt like it would happen, but I did get nervous. Jam Jam really seemed like he wanted to go for Carolyn. It was interesting to me too that like when we see how everything plays out, Carolyn doesn't get a single vote in the end, but Jam Jam, the winner of Survivor 44, was viewing Carolyn as the biggest threat in the game.
Mhm.
Like,
She should have been.
Oh yeah, and I don't disagree, but it's just interesting to see how the person that came out on top thought that the person that got 0 votes was the biggest
Yeah.
threat. That's just a funny thing to see play out.
I think that comes down to Jam Jam and Carson played very close games to Carolyn, and I think she was really the only one. I mean, besides with Heidi and who was it? Carson? No, whoever she was with Heidi and Lauren. Besides that moment, there wasn't really a moment where she talked strategy with many other people and then followed through on what she talked about. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like it was always with Carson and Jam Jam. They knew her game, and I don't think anybody else did.
Yeah, that makes sense. They played the closest with her, so especially as you saw, it wasn't even just like obviously that was Carolyn's strategy to make people feel like she didn't really know what was going on, even though she was one of the most perceptive people I think in the cast. But like even Jam Jam kind of used that as like an argument in his final tribal pitch. Heidi brought up that like Tika was just kind of like following on the coattails of the other tribes, and Jam Jam was like, no, that's what we wanted you guys to think. Like we were actually controlling those votes, but we were happy to let you guys think that like, yeah, we just have Tika in our back pocket. It's like, no, Tika actually is dragging you around the beach. Like
What was so nice about that moment too is like, again, we've talked about this with Big Brother, like those kind of games are so hard to retroactively take credit for because it's kind of like a just trust me, I did this. But like he at least had Carson also on the jury being like, yep, 100%, we absolutely did that, and like was like corroborating with that story rather than just having to blindly believe that he actually did know more than he said he did, you know?
Yeah.
I think Lauren did herself in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
How so?
I think that if she did not show some doubt in Carolyn, that Carolyn might have actually stuck with the Jam Jam vote. I think Carolyn seemed genuinely surprised that Lauren seemed off. And I wonder if in that moment that Carolyn said, you know what? I got to drop this girl. This ain't working. You know, she's over here talking about like we didn't talk game. Like, honey, we just made a deal. We just said Jam Jam. What you mean nobody was talking to you? Maybe she wavered.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. She says she's an emotional player, and I mean, doubt is an emotion, you know. So like,
Sure it is.
I
would jump ship.
Yeah,
But listen, girl. Listen,
and
I
don't
tried
think
it. I dabbled over here. You're making me nervous. I don't know. What
And-
you
Yeah.
I don't
I'm gonna get
necessarily,
outta here.
and I don't think that in that moment she would have been wrong to. In the long one, Jam Jam goes, Lauren sticks around, Carolyn probably wins.
Yeah.
Or likely wins. It's possible. Who knows? But
It's a whole,
Yeah,
it's a
no.
whole new conversation. Then.
yeah,
It's a whole new
exactly.
conversation. Right.
Exactly. But no, I definitely think that she might have, there was a very solid possibility she was leaning towards voting out Jam Jam. Because it never, in their conversations, there was never a confessional where she was like, I'm not going to vote Jam Jam. That's
Right.
crazy. You know what I mean?
Right,
We never,
right.
Right.
We never got one of those.
And I wonder if
So-
she spooked her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There really was. The last 2 episodes was like the first time that there was any drama between Tika, because that like once Carson and Jam Jam got back from that reward too, after Carson had won the first immunity challenge that we saw in the finale. Carolyn had just found out that Jam Jam had been saying her name before the previous tribal council, so man, there really was a lot going on in these last 2 episodes. This was a great season. I love
Yeah,
it.
it really was.
I honestly fell
It was
in love
awesome.
with this cast.
It was awesome.
I really did. It has everything to do with the cast, I think. All these people.
Oh,
really
absolutely. The
fun.
casting is. I will say too, watching that trailer for the next season, the cast seems at first glance just as fun. So I'm excited to see this next group also.
People were even saying too on Twitter, like, this is the least bitter jury they've ever seen.
Yeah.
You know?
Not one person was like,
No.
"Meh." Even Danny, who you might expect it from.
Right, right.
Yeah.
I loved what he was wearing at Final Tribal, by the way.
Oh, me too. Me too.
Order me 5 in every color. I need as many colors of those. I have do-rags. Send them all. Send them all.
The vote in this tribal where Lauren went home. This was interesting to me. So Lauren voted Jam Jam, right? Jam Jam voted Heidi. It was Heidi, Carson, and Carolyn that voted Lauren out. So this vote actually was fairly interesting to me because, like, Heidi, I see a world in which Heidi like could have voted Jam Jam out. Like, I wonder, because I can see why the Tika 3 would want to split their votes, because there was a lot of worry that like Lauren might have an idol. So like, how about 2 of us vote for Lauren and 1 of us votes for Heidi, right? But like, if Heidi had not been on board and Heidi said, say voted Jam Jam, we would have had we would have had a tie there. 2 votes for Jam Jam and 2 votes for Lauren. Mm-hmm. So I would have loved to see more of those conversations of like seeing how they got, Heidi like so locked in to vote out Lauren instead. Like, I just thought that I just thought that was interesting. Like,
Absolutely. And Heidi is underspoken. Okay. Heidi is really something else. And I know we're going to get into her more. I'm just really jazzed to talk about her. I really like her, and nobody gives her any flowers. But I got a couple of tulips for her. So, let's keep moving forward. I'm sorry. Go on.
Yeah, no.
Justice for Heidi. Let's hear
I
it.
agree. No, I agree. I remember, but I think it was the first episode. She had that whole feature where like she made the fire, and I was like, on that first episode, I was like, oh, she's one to watch.
That's right.
Okay, Heidi. Okay.
She disappeared for a while, and I think that's that's a lot due to the fact that Tika kind of took over the show.
They did.
But again, another problem with that, like that 3-tribe format, is that you just don't see one of them.
Right.
Yeah. But no, I agree that I think she not only was more interesting than she got credit for on the show, I think she probably did more that she didn't get credit for.
Yeah.
And she had a great story too. I mean,
she has a wonderful story. Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
I do really like Heidi. And we can talk about her more because she had a huge win in this episode.
Did she ever?
Right?
Which, might I just say, I believe it was our dear sweet friend Matt Blevins that said last time we were all together, they are foreshadowing something with Carson losing to the fire because of the amount of fire motifs they were editing into this season. So I had my eyes peeled on that fire moment.
Yeah.
Yes. And actually, you know what?
Well, she did have 2 wins too. She had the fire win, but I was actually talking about
I thought
the immunity challenge.
So sorry.
That she won.
It was there, yeah, girl.
I'm sorry. I was just trying to give our friend his credit. Okay.
But we had 4 people in this last immunity challenge, the final 4 immunity. 3 of them Tika. All they had to do was have one of them win it, and they had a great shot to make sure they were the final 3. And Heidi took it. This Samotion, right, is the name of this challenge. Incredibly stressful. I think with 2 hands.
I don't remember.
I like it. I like the challenge and what it is, and I like that it's like just a concentration thing, so it's not like a physical. It is so hard to watch.
I want to play this game so bad. This looks so fun.
3D print one.
Yes.
Oh.
So much fun. I would love to get a couple of friends together. Like, let's just have like a couple of drinks. Hit the bar a few times. Just drop some balls.
Just drop some balls.
Drop some balls.
I don't think with 2 good hands I would be able to do this, and with not having $1 million on the line, I don't think that I could do well in this. So.
It's stressful. And as much as I would have loved to see Carolyn pull out that win, I was like, "There's no way this woman is about to focus for this.
Yeah.
There's no way. There's no way." I almost thought she was gonna throw everybody else off with her screaming, but
Yeah, right. Yeah. So Heidi wins. We find out she's actually considering, even though she's got a free ticket now to Final 3, she's considering putting herself in fire. Everybody goes back to camp. They're practicing. The only the weakest person there was Carson and Jam Jam. We had a nice moment of Jam Jam helping Carson out with his fire making.
So nice.
Yeah,
I absolutely teared up watching this moment.
Yeah,
right.
This was really nice to see.
When
refreshing.
When Jam Jam had like a confessional about it too, being like, "Listen, I know we're competing against each other, and I could be facing him in a few hours, with $1 million on the line. Like, I want to help him because that's my friend." And I was like, "Oh,
this is what friends do."
Oh, and I
don't want people to see you fail. That is so sweet.
So sweet.
So sweet.
I want to see Jam Jam, Carson, and Carolyn together in something else so badly, and
they would be targeted immediately. But I also want to see it.
I tweeted that. I tweeted about this last night. I was like, "Can we just get some like weird special season of The Amazing Race where the three of them are traveling around the globe together? Like, how fun would that be? Like, it's just teams of 3. Somehow we just work it out. Let's just make it happen."
Teams of 4 once on Amazing Race, didn't they? It was like families. It was maybe years ago. I don't really watch Amazing Race all that much.
I would just love to see like
vague memory of that.
Like Jam Jam's driving in the front seat, and Carolyn and Carson are in the back seat, and Carson's got the map, and like they're just
Carolyn
just
screaming.
Yeah, it would just be great. I would just love it. Get them in something together.
Give them a sitcom. Give them something.
Yeah,
hell yeah.
That
was a fun moment in the reunion part when they were like, "Describe what your TV show would be."
Oh, it's Jam Jam's elevator pitch of their show where they adopt Carson.
Yeah.
Carolyn and Jam Jam get married, and then they realize Jam Jam's gay, but they have to stay together for the child who is Carson. Brilliant. Brilliant.
I'd watch every episode.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'd watch every episode.
Let's get it going.
Oh man. Yeah. I just want to see them in something. Please give it to us. But all right, let's get into this historic fire making challenge.
Let's.
First of all, that final 3 necklace, that final 4 immunity necklace around your neck, giving you a chance to get right to final 3. Would you put that on the line? What would it take to get you to put it on the line too? Like, do you think it was smart for Heidi to do it? Obviously, it paid off, but before knowing what the result was, would you have ever made that decision?
No.
In her position, I think she objectively looked at her game and she said, "I have not made enough big moves. I have not done enough to win this game."
Right.
And I think she knew that she could get, if without doing that, she could be in the final 3 and she would have been in 3rd place. And I think she knew that, and I think she saw that, and I think she made the right choice. Because whether or not,
I agree.
Because if you lose it, you still lose. You know what I mean? You just lose a day earlier. And if you win it, you get a much better chance at that final tribal. And she got herself some more money because she got herself into 2nd place. So
yeah,
I think she made the right choice and it definitely paid off. So
yeah. No, I hear you.
Yeah, I completely agree. Heidi was not going to win. I mean, she obviously still didn't win, but in the position she was in, she was definitely not going to win, just sauntering in. So she had to do something. So she might as well go out then or later. But either way, she was walking out. So yeah.
I want to play a game of hypotheticals with you all. If you indulge me.
I do love games.
Yes. So obviously Heidi decided to choose Carson to go against in this fire making challenge because he was the weakest with fire. Obviously Heidi couldn't have known going in that she was going to have the fastest fire belt in
that's ever. 2 in a row too, because Gabler broke the record last season.
Did he also break the record?
Yeah, that was the whole thing.
Yeah.
That is crazy. I forgot about that.
So knowing that Heidi, though, now that she has made the fastest fire in this this competition ever, would it have changed the outcome of the game at all if she had decided to go against Jam Jam instead of Carson? Or would then Carson have just been the winner after that? Or, like, would it have made
Was
a
that
difference?
it? Because
if we
it sounded
changed-
like it sounded like the two options were either Jam Jam against Carson or her against Carson. Or did I misunderstand that? Like,
Well,
I don't think
she could have.
But I'm
picked
saying
whoever she
I
wanted.
don't think that she was ever actually considering going up against anybody else, unless I
Well,
misunderstood.
Well, yes. But I'm asking now that we know that
just
she's made the
okay.
fast. This is a
Okay.
game of hypotheticals, Gina. Jeez.
All right,
come
I'm
on.
sorry.
Whoa,
I'm sorry.
Whoa, whoa.
Jesus.
Play
I
the
looked at my
game,
phone,
Gina!
and all of a sudden, like,
You asked one question and you get eaten alive. Wow.
usually I'm not on the Gina victim train, but that felt aggressive.
Gina victim train. Wait a second.
Listen, I started off this whole thing by saying I'd like to play a game of hypotheticals if you'll indulge me, and then you're like, "Well, that was never an option." I said, "This is hypothetical." If she had chosen
Oh my
Jam,
God, you got so mad at me.
That
if
was
she had,
so much fun.
it really was. If she had chosen Jam or Carolyn to go against instead of Carson, could it have made a potential difference?
I
in
don't
the
think
outcome?
Carson had a shot in any of this. Are y'all
Even
ready for my cold take?
Yes.
Y'all ready to get frigid?
I
Let's
want
do
to
it.
be ice cold.
I was so satisfied to see Carson go out and fire. Oh, it felt
Oh.
so good. I said, goodbye, baby. Get out of here. All your 3D printing, all your bullshit, your trickery, your tomfoolery, right? Didn't do nothing for us at fire. What happened? What happened? All the technology in the world couldn't help you, huh? A little flint and a knife got you stumped. Oh, it felt so
No.
good. It felt so good. It was the most satisfying moment of the day. I am so glad I stayed off social media so I could watch this live and unsurprised. It was fantastic. Woo! And I can't wait to rewatch it. I can't wait to rewatch it.
Kyle.
I would
My
describe
goodness.
that-
Oh my gosh, it felt so good to get that out. Woo! And holding that in for a good minute.
I would say that's probably a hot take, my friend.
Wow, yeah.
Oh, you think
A
people
cool-
agree with me?
No, a hot take.
That's
is
not what
something
hot
people
take
don't
means,
agree
Kyle.
with.
When you said a cold take,
Oh,
I thought
now
you were just like,
Gina's attacking Kyle.
Who's
I said a
attacking?
cold take was I didn't think anyone would agree.
No.
No,
So,
no,
like,
a
is
hot
like-
take a hot take means like no one is on board with this, but this is my opinion. When you said
Oh, I
a
thought
cold
hot-
take, no, when you were saying you have a cold take, I was like, oh, it's a slight departure from what we might agree with, but like for the most
Okay.
part, he's on board.
Okay, let's see. I guess
Yeah.
I'm old. I guess I'm old. To me,
Yeah, that
hot
is as
take
hot
for
as the
me-
fire making challenge
Listen,
at the Final
I think
Four,
that,
my friend.
I think that a hot take is like when you are totally on board, like yes, bitch, fire emoji, right? And like, but if it's not hot, it's not hot, right? Because it used to be good to be hot, right? Ooh, that's hot, right? All of a sudden, like now it's not. Like I don't know, I'm so confused. Like, why can't we just leave shit the way it was? Like, so I thought I was being the cleverest bitch, saying this was like an ice cold take.
We were waiting for like a slight little like this little thing, and then you were like, "Fuck Carson!" Oh my God!
Yeah, no, that's
I like Carson all season long, but like honestly, like all of like the trickery, right? Like I'm so tired of this 3D printing stuff. I'm tired of it. Like nobody else had that. Like that's the
low key on the DL, Kyle. I kind of agree with you. I don't think it would have been as satisfying to see Carson win.
No,
I think against the other three, the story's not there. He had those advantages, and bro's pulling out statistics in the final, like at the final
Oh my
tribal.
God, yeah.
I'm like,
Oh God, yeah.
When he was
once you start throwing numbers at me, man, I'm all checked out. I'm out.
when he said because at one point I think for Jam Jam he was like, you voted on the right side of the vote 90% of the time, like a little more general, but like for Carolyn it was like you voted on the right side 88.89% of the time.
Like, how do you know that?
But I still wanted a Tika final three pretty badly.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie,
I did too.
I think what was nice about it not being a Tika Final 3 was that, especially because it was Carson and Carolyn and Jam Jam and not like Carson and Carolyn or Jam Jam and Carson was that there were 3 unique games, and there was never a question of I have to separate my game from this person. Whereas I think with Carson there, his struggle is separating himself from either Carolyn or Jam Jam or both, and we didn't have to deal with any of that. They were 3 unique games. We know
That's
that
fair,
Carolyn broke off. We know that Jam Jam broke off. They were playing their own game, even though they were working together. That was nice to see, for sure. So that's So I do have to say, he would have been my choice to.
No, I'd agree with that. Yeah,
hit the bucket there.
Yeah. Can I add one other thing here?
Please do.
Yeah.
So John was over on Saturday, and so last week we had Billy Blinks on, from Reality Guys, our pod friends, and we were watching an episode of one of their last recaps of Survivor 44, and our other friend from Reality Guys, Brett, was getting laid into by his co-host Kevin about to the point. Yeah, honestly, it was actually rather uncomfortable to watch. Like I felt I felt pretty bad. I felt pretty bad for Brett. But Brett was saying there was a lot of chatter about maybe Carson might be related to maybe the fire making at the end, because we keep seeing the flames in the glasses.
Yeah.
And Kevin was like, absolutely not. No, F your Twitter friends. Y'all don't know what you're talking about. Y'all don't know what y'all talking about. And look what now done happened. Okay, so justice for Brett Larkin.
Yikes.
Yeah,
you're right.
Kevin ripped him up good.
Yeah, I'm on board with that. I'm on board with that.
So there is that. So shout out to our friends, but damn man. He really gave it to Brett, and Brett was right.
Yeah.
So back to the game that we were.
Okay, Mikey. So sorry. We were having fun.
I wanted to play the game.
I didn't mean to have fun on our podcast. My God.
Whoa. My goodness. Wow. What's happening tonight?
Come back.
Emotions are high tonight. Emotions are high.
That's what Survivor does.
It's fitting for this season. I mean, this was a very emotional season. Which I actually really loved. This was a cast of just a bunch of emotional, sensitive, wonderful people, and I really loved it. I was here for it.
Bunch of dorks.
I could see this being a very close cast, more so than other casts from not only Survivor but other shows. As a whole, I could see this cast being very tight for a long time. I really like them.
I like these people.
But yeah. Well, Liz says this is giving midnight Strat Chat vibes, and I love it. It really is. We're all over the place.
It wasn't meant to be.
We shouldn't be surprised.
I just bring chaos with me everywhere I go. It's my fault.
Yeah.
Oh, Carolyn. Matt says, can we talk about Carolyn asking Jam Jam to burp in her face again? LMAO.
When did that happen?
When they came back from spaghetti. Actually, this was really funny to me because Carolyn was pissed at Jam Jam. I just found out that Jam Jam had been saying her name, and walked up to him, wasn't saying anything, had a very cold look on her face, but came up and just hugged him and gave him a couple of pats on the back and was let me smell it. And he just burped right in her face. She was oh yeah, okay.
God, it's just so disgusting.
Listen, when you're that starved for food, man, sometimes you gotta take what you can get. And if a little
I don't see how that helps, though. If anything, if it actually smells,
it just makes me hungrier.
That's only more upsetting. I don't know. I don't need to be reminded of a good time. You better wipe your face off real good. I don't want to see. No, I don't want to hear nothing about it. I would be the most bitter bitch sitting over there, and they come in there. Oh, it's so good. We had this, we had that. I'm listen, I don't want to hear nothing about it. Good for y'all. I'm glad y'all had a good time. I don't hear no details.
I don't pretend to understand how Carolyn's brain works. So
I don't want to hear nothing about it.
All right. What else do we have to talk about here? Lasagna. I should really have that clip in here just for all, all moments. Lasagna. But that does actually, for some reason, that reminded me. We weren't here on Monday. So I know Gina will be mad at me if I don't do this at least once.
Oh God.
Smon Wan Monday. We know it's Thursday, but
it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
So that was for you, Gina. That was for you.
Great. Thank you so
God.
much.
Excellent.
Oh, you know what was really okay? So did you guys see who received the Sia Awards from this
No.
season?
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
didn't
I did
hear.
see this. I saw
I
this.
pulled up a little tweet here.
Yeah, tell us.
And here's from Pop Crave. Sia awarded a total of $130,000
Wow.
to her favorite contestants on the season of Survivor. Carolyn got $100,000, Lauren got $15,000, and Carson got $15,000 as well. Thank you, Sia. And did you guys see Carolyn's exit press? She did an interview with Rob as a podcast, and Sia joined Rob Has a Podcast to tell Carolyn that she would be receiving $100,000, and Sia just like was gushing over how much she loved Carolyn on the season. So
Carson's was really cute too.
I gotta see that interview.
Yeah.
Oh man, I literally, when I tell you I finished watching, like I finished the episode at 9:27. I peed and then I signed back on here, so I've seen nothing.
Yeah.
That's so exciting.
Caroline's was great, but Carson was like, because I guess Carson is like a super fan of. He was like, I am in like the 0.1% of your listeners on Spotify. I love you so much.
Has super fans.
But then
that checks
she
out somehow.
She like responded to him and was like, well, now I'm in your 0.1% of fans too because I love you. And he's like, oh my god, he's like so flailing around. It was so cute.
I did see, I did see his tweet. I think he actually said he was like, oh, this is from my favorite musician of all time.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Damn. Cute.
But it was just really nice. Like Carolyn's, I gotta tell you, like honestly, Carolyn's season in particular, like affected me. I loved watching her all season and how open she was. You know, everybody has their own struggles. I've had my own issues with mental health and things like that. And just like hearing how open Carolyn was about everything was really, Heidi did say it in her own final 3 pitch, but it really is inspiring. The fact that you had Franny up there, like kind of talking about how much Carolyn has changed her life, which makes it even more shocking that Carolyn didn't get a single vote.
I know.
Unreal.
I was so shocked that I think I made the same face when Carolyn didn't get any votes that Jamie made when she found out her idol was fake, which was this face.
Yeah, all right. I will say that this is in defense, actually, of the after show, isn't it? Because we never would have gotten a moment that genuine.
That's true.
It was now after the fact, and it was even if it was still live, she certainly would have known by then. So that is a cool thing about this. I just
you gotta pick and choose what you want there. You know,
I know.
Mm-hmm.
I still think I lean towards wanting
No,
back after. You know,
100%.
it was a great moment, but this is the only moment of all these that I've seen now. What we've had 4 of these so far.
Yes.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, this is the 4th.
4.
This is the only time that I thought I got a good moment out of it. Every other time I've hated it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only other thing on this one was when Carson like casually slid into conversation that he was working for NASA, and Carolyn was like, "What? And then they never, and then he was like, "We'll talk about it," and then they never talked about it.
Yeah.
So when they were all like up and hugging and like doing whatever, she was like, "I'm sorry, you're a what now?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm a student." Well, whatever. Like just brush past it, and she was like, "Wait."
Also, like poor Matt and Franny having to disclose their relationship after less than a month on national television.
Whatever.
Like,
I want them to get married. So
I know, but like
So
with a reunion, like a traditional live reunion show, they'd have probably about 6 months in between that time to like figure out
what the hell is going
on.
on.
What's going
what they
on.
are.
Like,
yeah.
Right.
They are less than a week together at this point, most likely.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
it
that's
is.
fair.
We
That's
are
fair.
Right.
We are
don't know what
very,
is
very
happening.
early in this relationship.
Yeah, that's fair.
But
Yeah, in a situation like none other. Like I don't even know what you're gonna actually be like in real life. I only know you out here.
Right. Who are you as a person in the real world?
Trauma bonding can be strong, but damn.
Right? Didn't
I will
Franny
say-
look great though? She looked
did,
great.
yeah. Her
with
hair
the-
looked
Oh my
fantastic.
gosh, yeah. Franny, your bad self. Franny looked great. Yeah.
She looked great. Yeah, she really did.
There is no way, unless something drastic happens between Matt and Franny, there's no way that they're not on the next Amazing Race.
Oh, please. Can they be the
So
next,
please, oh please.
DX and Claire? Please.
Yeah.
Please. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness gracious.
So that'll be fun. I would love to see Carolyn and Jam Jam on there too. I love the Tika 3, but if we're gonna take two of them, Carolyn and Jam Jam have to be the two that go on Amazing Race.
No. It has to be Carolyn and Carson. What do you mean so cute? Mommy and child. What? Enough with Jam Jam. He already won. Goodbye. Thank you.
Wow.
I will not
another hot
tolerate
take.
Jam Jam slander
listen,
on our
listen, not
podcast.
Slander. Listen,
Yeah.
I liked him, but like, all right. We did it already. It was a Jam Jam show already.
What's so funny about this is that you were also so you've had two hot takes. Okay, the first hot take was that you had enough of Carson. Now this hot take is no Jam Jam. I want Carson.
Because I had enough of Carson in Survivor. I had enough of his 3D printing. And
You can't 3D print the Amazing Race,
right.
baby.
What I'm cheering for is the relationship of Carson and Carolyn. I am not rooting for Carson, the individual in Survivor, but I love the relationship that we were seeing between the two of them. That's what I want to see more of.
Yeah.
Would love.
Now, you
some
can
more
team up Jam
content.
Jam with somebody else. I want Carolyn and Carson. That's what I want.
Carson.
Carson he always stayed true to Carolyn, even when Jam
He
Jam was
did.
quoting her name. He
Except until the very
immediately was
end.
saying, "What about Heidi? What about Lauren?" Oh yeah, except until the.
Well, that's exactly why when Carson took
The most
Jam
important
Jam
part.
to that reward, I was like, of course he's gonna take Jam Jam because Carolyn's not gonna talk shit about him behind his back, but Jam Jam
Right.
will.
Yes.
That's
So
true.
he knew that. He knew what he was
I'm
doing.
saying. Carolyn and
no, you're
Carson.
Yeah.
Now, does Jam Jam have any siblings? Now that I'd like to see. Now
He's
that's gotta be the silliest
He's-
vehicle you ever did see.
He's
Can
got
you
a
imagine
partner.
Jam
He said he had
Jam
a
and
brother. I think he said
Oh,
his
yes,
brother.
He does have a partner.
Yeah.
Right. Now
Uh-huh.
that I'd like to see.
Can I also mention something else about Carson choosing Jam Jam to go? Because this is interesting too.
Yeah,
Like
what else?
Carson knew that Carolyn wouldn't talk shit about him if she was the one that was left at the beach and not coming to the reward. But also, I wonder if it was in a way to protect Carolyn, because now if Jam Jam is back on the beach with the others, he can convince them to get Carolyn out, but Carson
Which
can
Jam Jam is
steer
already
Jam
trying
Jam
to do.
away. Right. And now
Right.
Carson has Jam
Right.
Jam there, and he can steer him away from Carolyn.
Yeah,
Just a thought,
absolutely.
just a thought.
Yeah, that's a great thought.
I wouldn't put it past Carson to have had all of that in his brain too. He's
No, absolutely not. Yeah,
he is
totally.
a guy works for NASA, man. NASA.
Nassau.
Guy works for Nassau County.
I think it'd be in much better shape.
Oh man, were you surprised at all that Danny was the one vote for Heidi? To
I
win?
really was. I
kind
really
of thought
was.
when I first saw that Heidi got a vote, my first instinct said that it was Lauren that voted. for
Yes, me too.
Heidi. Yeah.
Based purely on like the way that she was reacting to any time that like Heidi would advocate for herself, Lauren was always the one being like, "Yes, and I saw you do this, and I saw you do that." I was like, she absolutely has her in her corner.
Yeah.
I don't know. That kind of made sense to me. I just feel because even like the way he described his vote too, like I was like, yeah, that makes sense. That's the way
His
it's
reasoning
getting.
after the fact checked out, but when they first revealed that he was the vote, I was like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
Well, I was still so shocked that no one had voted for Carolyn that I guess
Sure.
it didn't
Yeah.
read all that strange.
That's fair.
Everything else took a back seat once we saw that
Yeah.
we got no votes. Wow. Yeah. I'm still so bummed about that. But hey, listen, she still is going home thanks to Sia with $100,000.
$100,000. Good for
Mhm.
her. I could
Yeah.
use $100,000.
Yeah, couldn't we all?
Yeah, I would love $100,000 right now, man.
That'd be great. See ya.
I'd be
I'm
pretty fine with 15
in
too.
the mood for $100,000. Sure.
I'm fine with 15. I'm not greedy.
Yeah, I'll take
I'll take 5.
Give me
$500.
$1. Give me
Just pay off my
$1.
credit cards and we'll call it even.
Yeah, give me $500. I'm good.
Wow, we really dropped the bar, huh?
Yeah.
We went from
We went from
$100,000 to 500.
We went
I
from
will-
500 isn't even
653.
rent. Hold on.
I
now,
literally
hold on.
said I will accept a dollar at this point. Just give
I
me-
I
I mean,
still
I would
want the
take anything,
$100,000.
but like, come on, like, I'd like a little bit more than the 500 if it's a real prize here. I mean, that's not even rent. I mean, come on now.
Yeah.
Just pay off my credit cards and we'll call it even. That's all I need, really.
Wow. have no credit cards actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
If I don't have
okay.
if I don't have cash, I don't get it. Yeah.
Oh, do you have a credit card though?
No, I don't own one. I have no credit cards.
Really?
So you don't have credit?
I have credit.
This is not the place
No,
for
I have
this.
credit. I mean, I have a car. I have a car, and I have like a cell phone and things.
But how do you build credit without a credit card?
I mean, you have to build it. I mean, like you have other things. Like you have other things that you pay on time, like your car and like you know your other bills.
That goes towards your credit? I
Michael.
thought it was strictly credit
Everything
cards.
goes towards
Michael.
your credit.
I thought it was just your credit cards that counted towards your
honey.
credit. Wow. Look at that.
Mike, any
got
other
bills
loans
stacked
or
up
any other, yeah. Oh my. Maybe we should be talking about this. Oh my. Oh my. Yeah, like these things count. I pay those, I just don't have any credit cards.
Yeah.
Good for
You
you.
probably shouldn't.
Yeah.
But here we are.
Yeah, if I don't have the money, I just don't get it. I just go sit down somewhere and I just mind my business.
I always have the money. I have credit cards, baby.
Wow. All right. Yeah, all right.
And that's why I need them paid off.
I paid cash for your hat.
Yeah.
It's not on a credit card. It's paid for. Yeah, all right. Wow.
It is a great
What,
hat.
are we forgetting anything? Did we not talk about anything that someone wants to talk about?
No. Well, I don't think so.
We did never play your game.
Yeah, we briefly. I brought up a hypothetical that Gina then, just.
I'm
completely
sorry.
dismissed.
I asked you a question.
Yeah. You just failed at the game, and
What's happening? What is the game?
God.
What's the game?
I had asked. I said I wanted to play a game of hypotheticals, and I had asked, knowing now, obviously hindsight is 2020. We can always play the game of what ifs, but Jam Jam won, and Heidi had chosen to go against Carson in the fire making because Carson was the weakest. But knowing that, now that we know that Heidi made the fastest fire ever, maybe if she didn't go after Carson, who was the weakest, maybe if she went after Jam Jam, who ended up winning the game, could that have altered the outcome of the game? Do you think?
Well, if she went for Jam Jam and won against him, it definitely would have altered the outcome of the game.
Obviously, but I guess what I mean is altered the outcome specifically for her.
Right.
Oh.
I know what you meant, but that's so funny. So funny.
I don't know. If it's
Smart ass.
basically, we're talking about like a final three where instead of Jam Jam sitting there, it's Carson sitting there.
Yeah.
I don't know that would have made a difference for her.
Yeah.
I think Carson played a strong enough game, separate from Carolyn, that he still could have. I think it's probably still would have come down to Carolyn or Carson for most of those votes. Because Jeff made a comment too, which was interesting, which was that like if most of those people that had voted for Jam Jam had a second vote, those votes probably would have gone to Carolyn rather than Heidi. So like even though Heidi did technically come in second place because she got the vote, if there was a ranking system, if we had ranked choice voting, it probably would be Carolyn in second place rather than Heidi.
I would be so interested to see. Like
that would be interesting.
Ranked choice voting, where you're not voting for whoever you want to win, but you're just ranking your top three and what order it is. Like, and then like first place votes get this many points. Second place votes get this many. Third place get this many.
That'd
Maybe
be really
interesting conversation. Yeah, that's an interesting conversation. I wish we would have had that for other like finales as well. That's interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
Heidi got one vote where Carolyn got 0, but how many people would have felt like Carolyn was their second choice? Maybe the outcome.
Right. If this was tiered like the way we do rankings, Carolyn would have come on top.
Yeah.
Well,
right. Yeah. Because and even then too, it's like now you're not making a strict decision between two people. Like it's like that might have had some people putting Carolyn in first place and Jam Jam in second place. Like it could have that just like that mindset changes things for sure.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting. Sure.
That is exactly how they do it on the circle.
Yeah.
Love the circle. Is this not a circle friendly space?
Kyle does not like the circle.
You don't like the circle? How?
I've actually never seen it. Really, I think I
How?
may have seen
Never?
it, but we watch enough shows, man. Kyle tells me he doesn't like it. I'm out.
I love it, but I guess my
I
opinion
love
doesn't
The
matter.
Circle.
Obviously, your opinion does matter because you got
Wait.
Kyle and I both into Big Brother, and
That
is
is
the
true. I am the reason we're here today. Thank you. Thank you.
It is true. It is true.
Wait, was that based on like what season was that based on? This most recent one?
No,
or-
I watched season 1 and
Okay.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Okay.
I enjoyed it so much that I thought about like I wanted to be on it. And then
I
I
want to be on
tried
it so bad.
I tried to get into season 2 and I just
Okay, that's fair. Because what I was gonna say is this most recent season, they tried to. It was like they did this weird thing where they like kind of made it like kind of a dating show too, and it was just like not it, and it really kind of ruined the show for me this last season. So if you were doing it based off that, I was gonna say you gotta go back, but your opinion's valid based on your experience.
well, okay. I mean, well, I'd like to believe my opinion's always valid.
Yeah, no, but I was just saying if you were if that opinion was strictly based off this most recent season, I would have needed you to try again.
Right? No, that's totally fair. No, I know what you mean. I saw a door was open and I walked through.
That's fair.
Yeah, no, like the circle just lost me. After the first season, it just felt like everyone was just being extra for extra's sake. Like you could just cast somebody as genuine as Carolyn or Jam Jam and get the same result, and it would be engaging and it'd be very fun.
Yeah.
These people that they're casting, it's like painful to watch them, and it's like, what is this? It's like, I know you don't actually act like this.
Wait,
and
you want to
it's
hear
like-
something funny too? I found out recently that there is no sound effect. So like when they hear like the "Boo-doo," and then they like that's fake. It's all fake.
That's so upsetting.
Oh my gosh, you're about to break Gina's circle heart.
Oh no.
Don't do it to her. Don't do it to her. And then I tried to watch the season because there was like the Spice Girls was on like season 4 maybe.
Yeah,
And
that
I
was the
like,
season that Angelica was almost on.
And I was like,
She
I
got
gotta
booted by the
watch
Spice
this.
Girls.
We'll see. I was like, oh, Spice Girls is like, let me just try this one more time. I gotta catch my girls, right? And I was like, I didn't even get to them. I was like, well, I gotta get out of this. I cannot watch this.
Kyle fully knew someone on the circle and didn't watch it.
My buddy Jamie was almost on the circle too, but he got booted because there weren't enough British people, so they thought he was going to be weird on it.
Yeah, we knew Matt Papadilla, but we did not watch. Sorry, Matt.
We didn't watch. Sorry.
Oh yeah,
the season
I
before
remember
this one, I
him.
think.
I remember him. He was a Long Island boy.
Matt and I were in a production of Les Mis together, where I played Jean Valjean and he played Javert.
I was gonna say that wasn't because we did a Les Mis together too, didn't we?
Did we? Probably.
you?
I don't
At some
know.
point, I did like 6 of them. I have no idea.
I was gonna say one of the many Cap Les Mis productions.
Yeah.
I played Gavroche like 4 times.
I hate Les Mis.
Wow.
We are so far off the Survivor train right now.
I actually do want to talk a little bit more about Survivor, but let's keep going with this now, this branch that we're on.
I just hate it. I just think it's ridiculous. Why are we celebrating a man that's performing a crime? If he was
He's
black,
trying to
this
be
would
his
not be
homie.
celebrated.
He stole the loaf of bread to feed his sister and her baby.
I know. Like, I know. It's a
Loaf of
wonderful,
bread.
I know.
The punishment doesn't fit the crime.
Sure, it doesn't.
It's the whole point.
Oh,
Right.
you got Mikey on that one. Damn, he angy.
I mean, you could be
Oh,
angry.
hey, oh
You
no,
could be
he gone.
angry.
Oh,
Listen.
Mikey.
We're not talking about the.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Not
Michael.
talking the.
I'm actually
talking about
happy
the-
that the Burger King crown is back.
I know, me too. I was hoping that you would have stuck with that for the whole stream, before changing to
I
your
have
ball
commitment
cap.
issues.
Somehow we ended up talking about like the social issues of revolutionary France back in the.
Revolutionary fans.
Yeah.
France.
But anyway, I do want to talk a little bit more about Survivor.
So tell us things.
Okay, because we were talking about final tribal council, final pitches, and like how we don't like that there's
tribal.
Matt wants me to say France like that again.
France.
So stupid.
France. Okay, but anyway. Okay, so final tribal council pitches. Stand up, make your last statement. Do you think, obviously, we're all pissed that Carolyn didn't get a single vote, but do you think that Heidi specifically could have gotten more votes if she had a chance to stand up? Because you could argue her last immunity challenge win that she got might be too little too late, but she still did go into that final tribal tied with Jam Jam for immunity wins and had more than Carolyn. And I think that if she could have stood up and framed things in a way like, listen, everyone thought that Tika was a joke. They were actually running things. I was the one person to survive. And going into the last tribal council where I could have been voted out, I ensured my safety, won the immunity necklace, but chose not to take the easy route to final three. I instead decided I'm going to make fire, makes the fastest fire in Survivor history. You know what I mean? If you can stand up and actually
You're
lay that
basically
all out.
doing it for her. You're doing it for
Yeah.
her. And see, I don't know that she would have won, but she definitely would have gotten. I think she could have gotten more.
Yeah.
I also, I think the thing is, I don't think she would have made that pitch because of the three of them, she was the one that like seemed like she had a pitch that she kept coming back to, which was talking about like women in STEM and like that kind of thing.
Yep.
And I think that is the route that she probably would have taken in that sort of situation where she had that chance to stand up. And I don't think she would have. I don't think she saw that. I don't know. I don't think that she would have went there, and I don't know that it would have changed things for her specifically.
Okay.
Oh, that's interesting.
But it's I mean,
know,
like,
a well-spoken closing really can clinch things. You know, like you know, it gives you that one last chance to just run down your resume and in not such a messy, I don't want to say aggressive, but like almost challenging way. It's an
like defensive,
yeah, because everything the jury is asking is now you're defending yourself. You're defending yourself. Now you're just speaking casually about things. I don't know. I still don't think she would have won, but you don't think she could have gotten like an extra?
I think that my like feeling on it is that I so badly want to see something different than we've got in the last 4 seasons, just a 7-1-0 vote. So maybe that final pitch could have made it a 5-2 or a 4-3 vote. Give us something else, please.
Yeah.
Listen, ranked choice voting, man. That's my solution.
Yeah.
Bring it in, baby.
Yeah.
That's
an interesting thing too, because then, like, you know, at least in Big Brother, you know that you're getting something for second place. The second place person doesn't get anything here, and if you had this ranked voting, at least you have like a basis to stand on.
Yeah, I will. They get tiered based on their pay for the show, based on how long they stay in. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. It's not like significantly more, probably second than third, but they do get more for being in second. There's your answer, Matt Bloodman.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, so second place does. Oh, that's a lot of money. $250,000,
bro.
Which could also be part of the reason that Heidi was the only member of the final 3 not to get the Sia award because Heidi still got $250,000. So let's.
Or maybe just Sia just doesn't give a damn.
She's
like, I didn't like her. Like,
she said, I don't care about women in STEM.
I don't like her. It's my money, and you're not getting
I'm gonna swing from the chandeliers, baby.
Oh my god!
Wow.
I do think that Lauren is definitely a very worthy recipient.
Oh no, I did like Lauren.
Good for her.
Party girls don't get hurt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Lauren, what is that? What's that? Yeah, what'd you say, Mikey?
Party girls don't get hurt. Can't see anything. When will I learn? I push it down.
He's quoting Chandelier.
Yeah.
I got you.
Good time call, phones blowing. Why do I know all these lyrics?
I was on board with you. I just don't like it.
I didn't know any of them.
I didn't know I knew these lyrics till right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Lauren shot up there for me in that last final tribal that Lauren was a part of. The way she spoke, she really got me. I really, not, you know, I was obviously the Tika 3, Carolyn is my number one. The rest of Tika was sort of like, slightly below that, but Lauren shot up for me in her, in her last final tribal that she was at. So Liz,
No,
Mikey at the top
I was
0.1%
making fun of
fans.
Carson before. God, it's a great song. You know what it is? I listened to the Toad version of that a lot. You know, like Toad from
Of
Mario.
course you.
1, 2, 3.
Michael, you bailed on that bit so fast.
I'm gonna hurt my throat. I have
Well-
shows this weekend.
Oh, don't do that. Don't hurt your throat. Come on. All right. So listen. Anybody else have anything for Survivor 44?
No.
Mm-mm.
All right.
No. It was a really good time, and I'm really glad we watched it.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. This was a really fun season with a great cast. So we'll be closing the book on Survivor 44. It's been fun.
That's it.
They gave us a little tease of Survivor 45 in the after show. I'm excited to see Bruce back and get another chance.
Uh-huh.
There was also something that set Twitter ablaze, and that was that we saw a clip of a gavel.
Of a gavel.
A gavel.
Did we?
Yes.
I did not.
And it has caused many people to wonder, could we be getting a Survivor auction next season? Which the idea of that was very intriguing to me.
Interesting.
So I'm looking. Those are the two things for me for Survivor 45 that I'm looking for: seeing Bruce back and seeing a potential auction.
Yeah, I will say I'm excited to see this cast. Like I was saying before, like based on that first look, they seem to be like the same kind of like vibe sort of as this past cast, and I'm excited to see what they do. They seem fun.
No, I agree.
I'm looking forward to it.
I agree. But yeah. Oh wow, Matt says that this season might break his top 10. Wow.
Oh baby.
Wow.
Bring back the fire.
Liz agrees.
People are pretty jazzed about it. Pretty jazzed.
Yeah.
I'd say I think this is the strongest of this new version
New
of
era.
Survivor for
Like
sure.
post-COVID, like the post-COVID era.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think it's trial and error right now for them. I think they're seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work, and it really feels like Jeff has his finger on the pulse of this kind of stuff and is listening. So I think it just takes longer than we'd like for them to make the changes because of the way they film. But I'm hoping that as we go forward, they'll continue to listen and do what they can.
Yeah.
Yeah, make some good TV.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I've had a blast talking about this season with all you guys. Thank you so much.
It's been a lot of fun.
And thank you to everyone that has been watching and listening. We appreciate your support. What's coming up next for us? We don't really know, right? We're still figuring that out. Big Brother got pushed.
Well, we do have something coming up.
Oh, yes.
We do have something. Actually, Gina doesn't know.
No, I'm like, what do we have coming up?
We do have something coming up. And I just assumed you were free because you're supposed to be keeping Thursdays available. We have Lewis and Michelle Cologne joining us for our casual chat on the 15th.
Yes.
How dare you not tell me about this until right now? I would have been so excited.
Listen, I have a lot going on. And I have a lot going on.
I was in the middle of a move. All right.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of a move.
All right, why didn't you tell me?
Lots of ups and downs. Lewis has been sassing me all week. He's giving me a lot of hard times. But we're having a nice casual chats. Just catching up with them, finding out what's going on. All the happies. Actually, Lewis had already said that Michelle would do it, and then I messaged Michelle and I said, "So can't wait to catch up with you." And she reacted with a question mark. She had no idea. And she said,
me and Michelle are both uninformed.
Just us boys chatting.
We let the men handle things around here.
But but you're signed up, so that's
you're signed up. You can volunteer.
Okay.
But other than that, no, I don't know that we have anything for June.
I'm excited. I'm really excited to talk to Lewis and Michelle again.
Me too.
I would really love to bring up the whole debacle of the sock shoe versus sock
Oh.
shoe debate.
Yeah.
Who
I
does
would
sock
put
shoe? Michelle, my
Apparently-
girl. I
apparently
love
Michelle.
you.
We need
That's
to talk about
crazy.
this with them.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
That's
So that's-
insane.
And
what
this
our
is
audience
right
has to
off
look
the
forward
heels of her delivering the worst Patrick Lidl. Did you see that story? That was a few months ago. It was her, Lewis, and Quentin for the Amazing Race, going back and forth trying to decide who was doing the worst or the best, rather. Patrick Lee.
Oh, I was like, what are we talking about?
Yeah. I actually have a screen grab of this. I'll have to share this.
Oh, I must see it. Yes.
Yeah, I'll share it.
Yeah.
I'll share it.
That's now I'm so pumped. So that's going to be Thursday, June 15th.
Yes. I
At
didn't mix
9:30.
up these dates.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
9:30
get
p.m.
yelled
Eastern
at.
time.
I'm gonna get yelled at again. But yeah,
We'll
but it should be.
confirm
I
that.
think it's 9:30. That's what it should be. Yes, that's what
Okay.
it should be.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, we'll confirm it all on the socials once
We
it
will.
gets closer.
That's all I got. Nothing
Yeah.
else.
Other than that, we are talking about some things. Big Brother 25 got pushed to August 2nd, a premiere date. The Challenge
Yeah.
USA is season 2 is not starting till August 10th, I think,
Uh-huh.
which would probably be the next 2 closest shows that we would cover. If we're doing both of them, we're definitely doing Big Brother 25. But
Mhm.
so we've got some time to play with, and we've been talking about some things. So. We'll figure it out. We don't plan to go on a full hiatus, but yeah, we'll figure things out. We'll let you know.
We are not doing this total drama island. All right, enough, Blevins. All right, we are not doing that. I looked at that for 5 seconds. I said, "What the hell is this crap?" I am not watching animated people doing fake reality TV.
It's so good.
All right,
Everyone
it's
sees
bad
that,
enough.
though.
No, it is bad
Full
enough.
Drama Island.
It is bad enough that half of the reality stuff that we watch is not actually reality. Like, I'll be damned if I watch somebody's drawn thing. It's like, what is that supposed to be? Like fan fiction reality?
You
Like,
get
what?
weirdly like wrapped up in it. It's very strange.
Stop.
Has
It's
anyone
good.
seen this Buddy Games? I think it's
What?
Buddy
Who?
Games. Have you seen this?
Bunny games?
Buddy.
Oh.
I
my
also thought
buddy.
he said bunny. That's why I was like, say that again.
No. There's some
Thank God.
show. It's on CBS, and I've seen the ads when watching stuff on Paramount.
Oh,
Plus.
is that thing that just says, it says coming soon, right?
And it's like,
there's
well,
no
it's
date.
supposed to be like a bunch of childhood friends that are basically going to like summer camp together, and they play
I have
like
not seen
ridiculous
this.
games. I don't know if anybody has. I forget who the host is supposed to be, but I don't know. I saw that it was CBS, and it's supposed to be like a bunch of like old groups of friends, like just playing ridiculous games together at like a summer camp looking thing. So I thought it might be.
I do think I
funny.
saw that, and I was like, this
Yeah.
looks like a
See
repurposed
this.
All-Star Shore.
Yeah.
Justice 4, by the way. I tried.
yeah.
I tried to
Kyle
Twitter
and
thing with the reality guys, and they did not have it. Did you notice they did not respond to that at all?
Kyle and I did watch. We watched an episode of All Star Shore this past weekend together. So
They did. It's fun.
yeah. But all right, okay. I think we've gotten everything out that we wanted to, right?
Mikey's like, I had enough.
Yeah. Any other thoughts? Final thoughts for the benefit of the community?
No,
Mikey says no.
I have no thoughts.
Okay.
I don't think
Gina?
so, but thanks for
I'm
hanging. out.
good.
Whatever. It's a good time.
All right. Please check us out on the socials at Scratch Chat Pod. Give us a like, throw us a comment, subscribe if you feel like it. That would be great. We would love that. Check out the website www.scratchchatpod.com. All right. Thanks everybody. We will see you soon.